so I felt safe to actually focus more on my part of things.
Now think with this wall, right? Because I can tell like with this wall, we're just doing this. Is like, okay, my jet's here. The only thing I have to worry about is elbow. If I put my wall here, I don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm assuming that's our thought process of this, right?
That was my thought process.
Yeah. Well, this isn't necessarily like a bad idea because we want to like, you know, essentially deny space to the enemy. It is usually going to be utilized better when we, instead of like, oh, someone could potentially be there, I'll put my wall so they can't push there. And more the like, I know someone's trying to push here and I don't want them to allow them for that to happen. And we more use the wall in a situation like that. Let's say like the sage wall breaks. And what do they have here? They have a jet, they have a Phoenix. So let's say we now see like a jet smoke come out to sight and Phoenix flashes through, right? So like, okay, they're coming through, right? If we still have our wall at that point, we can then throw our wall at the choke. Now their team is stuck back here and the people that came in are now stuck in sight. So these people are pretty much just dead because now we can just fight them and their team can't help them because this has cut them off, right?
Last player standing.
Oh, yeah, like, well, what happens here, right, is like we had the right idea at first, right? We see our jet coming down mid, that's walled off. We're going of our jet here because we're 4v5, we're down numbers, right? We need to pick up some guns, we need to get some kills. This is great, right? Like the jet's not having to go by himself. We can, if there's like one straggler here, we have a good chance of being like 2v1 this guy at the jet, and then we can pick up the gun and be even numbers, right?
104 on the jet.
Jet goes in, we back up, which is like, okay, if the jet doesn't see anything immediately, like that's fine. But we do want to make some sort of situation. He gets a kill. He overstays his welcome a little bit, unfortunately, but. And we come back here, jet dies, or 2v4. What's going on here really is we're just kind of scared. We're not really doing a whole lot of anything really. Like our jet comes down here, we'll go down and like we stay here for a while. We come down here, we go with him, we leave him, we come back, we kind of look back here, we see the Viper does some stuff. We're just always staying around here without really accomplishing anything. There's many ways we can go about this. I don't really mind what we were to pick. I would just want us to pick one of them. Because what ends up happening by us just like staying here for a while is they're eventually just having to take this terrible fight for us and losing it because realistically, we're taking a super long range fight with a Spectre. We're putting ourselves in a situation where it's going to be much harder for us to do anything when we didn't necessarily have to. Because we could have done like we could have stayed at the jet and if we got that kill, maybe have the confidence where you guys push up, right? And maybe you could have got that next kill together and then start like fast flanking or something like that, right? That's an option. Or when the jet gets the kill here and he's doing his own thing and you're kind of here and then we see your wall goes down, you're like, okay, maybe I will leave the jet, Viper's on site. Now we could take elbow control. So where if like someone's here, I would much rather take a fight like this with my Spectre than to take a fight like this with my Spectre, right?
Barrier deployed.
I'm scared. Okay.
Dead. 1-on-1's over.
Yeah, that was pretty perfectly util as well and stuff like that. I think the only thing I would have done there is that like when we were fighting here, we peeked out here like 5 times or so. And then eventually like when the guy peeked at the Marshal, he knew to look here for you, right? So like eventually I probably would have peeked from like here or maybe come around, peek from like here. Just so like I'm fighting like the same people and stuff, but I'm always in a different spot rather than just predictably being like always in the same spot. Pretty much any time I get a kill, or I'm like peeking for a kill and getting damage, I'm immediately like repositioning. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, like just like repositioning, right? So they just like they expect one thing and then I come for the next and they're having to like snap over to me and I'm like always being able to get a better fight because they're like having to wonder where I'm at rather than knowing where I'm at.
Nice, we got one.
Reloading.
If you can pick me, I can heal you.
Yeah, the only thing with this is we just don't have to, right? We're peeking and we're taking a fight we just don't have to take. We're up 4v3. We have full utility with an ultimate. We could just chill. They got a minute. Like we're just taking a like aim duel when realistically, if they try to push a site, we have so much utility to stop that and retake that and play of our team and numbers that us like dying here and peeking is what the enemy is looking to get back into the round. And we're essentially giving them that, right? They have to look for those fights. We don't, yet we did.
Hold them to their grave.
do we like want to hit the guy who's planting with this, or yeah, because like with how the Deadlock ult works, right, is we throw it like this, right? We never really want to be throwing it at people, right? We always want to be bouncing it away, which is great. But like, let's say we hit pillar this way, it is gonna bounce left or it is gonna bounce right. So like, I think it, like, honestly, even though like ulting is like gonna be a good thing in that situation, I'm probably clearing very close first. Like my close right, I'm picking up like the rifle and I'm picking up like the close right or close left here and seeing if they're there. And then if I'm not seeing them, a much stronger thing we can do with our ult here is just like, if we were to throw it off of here and the guy is planting here, it'll just automatically hit this guy, automatically pick him up, right? And a big thing with Deadlock ult is not, especially when we're in like, you know, like 3v2s or just like they only have 2 people left, is if we capture one guy that we know is there, they're either gonna die or we immediately know where the other guy now is, right? So if we were to like see, oh, this guy's planting, I would clear enough of this space to be able to get here. So like I might have to clear someone's holding like really close here, but then that now my ult is in range and I'd be able to grab the planter. But yeah, another thing your team ended up doing in the end, which is like fine in the end, but like I guess the only thing we can kind of get used to is maybe just like if we want to like calm to the team a bit more, respond to information more, is like we know the Viper's here, we know the Cypher's here, they have a Jet and the Phoenix, and we just killed the Sova mid. All of their utilities here, and there's only 2 people. The second I see this happens, I'm immediately talking to my team like, let's get the fuck out of here, let's run to A, let's run to mid. Like I'm taking this space immediately. You're telling me we could have 5v2 against the Jet and Phoenix? I'm out of here, right? Like the second that happens, I'm responding to that like what's happening off the information way quicker. Like our team ends up doing it, but technically the Cypher and Viper could have rotated by then. Like if it was something like this happens and like this is happening, like I'm just out, right? Like I got somewhere else to be. So a bit of an information thing, but other than that, this round was played fine. Kind of stuck with the team, you know, played trades, stayed up numbers, won the round. It's all good.
Clear B.
Spike down B.
Why do you think we died here?
That neither of us had checked a certain corner.
True. But if we go back a bit, what did we say here?
I think I heard someone pushing through mid. No,
So we know that.
I don't hear it, so.
But
Wait,
as we
maybe if
see, we like this Reyna does kind of go back and fight mid, but everybody went through here, right? We all went through here. The problem with that is we want to go B, yeah? But we all as a team like went through mid at this point to B, right? Which means we've had no information on all of this for about 30 seconds or so, which means someone could be there, which means if they are, people coming here, and we're getting fought from like both ways, right? We're getting crunched. In situations where this is happening, we have to re-clear everything pretty much. Where like if I want to go B and we haven't been in B main, that means I need to re-clear B main. So if my team is going through here and this guy's going to try and plan for main, while this space would usually be ours, we didn't come from that way. It's not ours anymore. So while our team was going through here, right, and instead of us following them when multiple people are going there as well, we could instead path through here, right? And take our time to where we see if anybody's elbow, we walk up. And then this person starts planning. This Sova would have been like around here. They're going to be looking this way because they like, not even before the planting, they were hearing like this guy who pushed right because he killed us from here, which means he pushed here and then he heard everyone running in. So he's like, oh shit, everyone's running in. Let me go get kills. And he shot 2 people in the back, right? So he's not focused on this anymore. So if we pathed through here and we re-clear all of this, we got a free kill. He's worried about your whole team running into sight. You just shoot him in the back. So not only do you get a kill, but you just save the person who's planning and yourself, which means instead of what this ends up being, which is what? 2 people died to the Sova, right? And now we're in a 2v4. So instead, we would have killed the Sova and 2 of us would have been alive. We would have been a 4v3. And you would have had your ult. So we it's a big mistake, happens a lot of times when people go mid and they go to a site, is they don't think it's like, okay, if no one's been here, someone could have pushed. We don't have that space anymore. If we don't have the space anymore, we need to reclaim that space.
Push him.
Small little tip. I understand you wanting to break the tripwire here to save the Reyna. Usually, Cypher players have that because they want to swing off it. So if I see that happen, I'm usually continuously backing, like holding back sight because I'm not the guy who got hit by the trip. I'm immediately, my brain is thinking, oh, this guy's going to swing off that trip. Because like, for example, if we're not like looking at this trip here,
Cypher was somewhere.
our crosshair is right where that Cypher, our crosshair is perfect where that Cypher was, right? So like if we didn't swing that to that trip, the Cypher just would have insta died. So like I get what you did, but it's just like a small little tip. If you've ever seen Cypher tripwires like that or something, your teammate gets hit by them. Usually I'm not going to break the trip. I'm usually holding where I think someone's going to swing to kill the guy stuck in the tripwire and save them that way. The reason we threw this wall here? Yeah, we just don't want to do that. Like we're stuck in sight. Our Sage's stuck out of sight. Not really helping us. Like the most we could really do with the wall is probably just throwing it like CT, because I think it reaches CT. Like if we threw it like this. Yeah, no, 100% it does. Where like I don't think it lets you rotate it, unfortunately. But to where like we're just blocking here, we're blocking their entrances. Like only time we're really gonna be using like our barrier when we're actually taking a site is I'm just throwing it like CT or something like here just to like stall for them to get into the site pretty much. We don't really want to be like the only time we don't really want to be throwing it back here like this. Only time we're ever doing that is our team actually has a plan. Like we think they're fast linking or something and we're gonna like push spawn and take this space, or push mid, take this space, and then use that as our own instead. But that is going to be very rare. So we don't usually want to be doing this. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, this is good. And I think like almost like what, this was like 13-11. I would have said like at least 8 of these rounds that we lost were just the small things that if we just changed what we did in that round, it would have been a bunch easier and we would have won the round. Like this easily could like, with just minor adjustments, could have been like 13-5. Yeah, it is just a lot of mid-rounding and gaining information. So like step 1, always being in the mindset of gaining information. Pre-round and during the round. Step 2, if it's something that we just respond to, we do it. If it's something that like the whole team needs to do, we get used to being able to communicate it. And then step 3, actually having this information. How am I going to use it? Okay, this is happening. How should I respond? How do I know how to respond in these situations, basically?